For sunshine mixed with clouds today. Of course, at Community Funeral Home, we offer more than expected in service at less than expected cost. 511 Edgewood Drive, pre-need to at-need funeral services, funerals, burials, or cremation. It is Community Funeral Home, 256-245-5201. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy today with a slight chance of a shower and a high near 92. And you see temperatures kind of going down toward the end of the week, but rain chances going up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Right now, 71 in downtown Sylacauga. That is a wrap for me. Till next time, God bless you. God bless America. Stay safe, everyone.
Rise and shine, everyone. It is Tuesday morning, July 16th. Thank you for starting your day off with us here on Rise and Shine. I'm Courtney Lynham. I'm your guest every weekday morning. So this morning we have some friends of mine in the house with the Theatre of Gadsden. So if you're all aware, of course, I've done a lot of work with Theatre of Gadsden, and I'm a big fan of theater. And so there is a show that is opening this weekend, next weekend. Goodness, what are the dates?
Friday.
We're gonna find that out. This weekend is opening, and it's Fiddler on the Roof. So we are going to meet some of the characters and vocal director, musical director, and learn more about Fiddler. So Fiddler on the Roof is a musical, and it's set in a small Jewish village of Anatevka, and I think I might have pronounced that right, but we're going to verify. So it's in Russia in 1905. The story centers around Tevye, a poor milkman, his wife, and I might be saying these names wrong, so we're going to verify with the actors that know for sure, and their 5 daughters. The musical explores themes of tradition, family, love, and change in the face of external pressures. So with me now is David Yingling. He is playing the role of constable and also has some other things to offer behind the scenes. So David, welcome.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
How's it going?
It's good. It's the morning after the first night of Tech Week, so we're a little theater hungover, maybe we'll call it.
That is a good way to put it. So Tech Week, for all of the viewers who have never experienced the joy of Tech Week and being part of a theater, explain a little bit what goes on in Tech Week.
Well, this last night was the first run through we did with our costumes, the lighting, the music cues, all the lines. Everything is supposed to come together. Of course, it's pretty raw, and it's expected to have, we're sweeping up all the final details, but it's slow, it's drawn out. You of course get notes at the end on what you could do better, and it's grueling. So it's a love-hate relationship. You know, Tech Week, you don't like it, but you also love it. I find it to be one of the most fun weeks, but one of the most difficult.
Absolutely, yeah. It is. But you got to work out all of those things, so then when you open on Friday, then all is well, and you can have a really exciting opening night knowing that you have prepared to the utmost of your abilities, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you've got Nika Hodge, and you've got co-directors, Brian Jones and Nika Hodge, and so how is it working with those directors?
This is wonderful. Our family's been a part of theater in the area for a number of years. We worked with a variety of different directors, and they've been a real pleasure to work with. They're a lot of fun and a lot of creativity and a good direction coming from the team for sure.
That's wonderful. Yes. It takes that.
It does.
You've got Heather, who is the stage manager, and so you've got a great team, and it's a large cast. Is it a large cast? Okay, so how is it having so many moving parts and so many people to work with?
I think it's great because the people that have been selected have been working well together, and I think most have, not most, I think some have some theater experience. I don't know that everyone has as much as others, but it's been a team effort for sure, and cooperation.
Yeah, well, it has to be.
Yeah.
I have my tickets for Friday night. It's wonderful. It's amazing how this month has passed by so quickly, and so it is already that time. When did y'all begin rehearsals?
Goodness, I don't remember the date, but it's maybe 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
So it's a pretty short amount of time to put on a big show.
Yeah, it's come together quickly.
Yeah. So tell us about your role. So you're playing the role of Constable.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so tell us a little summary about Constable.
Sure. Constable is kind of like the chief of police in the area. He's not the military, but he has to enforce locally the laws that the military is enforcing. And in this area of Anatevka, he's made some friends. Tevye is one of his friends. They have a mutual respect and a friendship with each other, but yet Constable has to be loyal to the orders that he's given. Mm-hmm. And so he's put in an unfortunate situation of having to create some chaos in the community at special times, like during a wedding, and during a time of celebration, telling the villagers that they have to pack their homes, sell their homes, and leave. And so it's a balance for me between my friendship with Tevye and my respect for Tevye and his culture, and having to carry out the orders that are given to me by the top brass. Wow. So it is a challenging role for me personally.
Yeah. How do you get ready for a role like that? Like your character development?
For me, I've always enjoyed playing around with different dialects and languages and things, so it was pretty easy for me to put on the Russian accent. It became very easy for me. So to get into the character, I use a voice a lot, and I do it at home, and I do it when I'm not on stage, so that's a big part of it. And then for me, really getting into the psychology of the character and realizing that this is not just the face of the oppressor or the enemy, like the villagers might see me as that, but within myself, I realize that I have a tremendous amount of affinity for Tevye, and we're friends, and I understand his plight, and so I'm in a difficult place, and so that's helped me to fine-tune facial expressions and gestures and voice tone and things.
I think you should just speak in your Russian accent for the remainder of our interview. That's really good.
Thank you.
So you also have been able, of course, in character development and getting ready, everyone is learning a new dialect, like you said with Russian, but also about a culture that they may not be aware of. And you've been able to help some with, or a lot behind the scenes of helping your fellow cast members have a better understanding of the Jewish culture. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I didn't really get called up, if you will, into that role until about midway through rehearsals. I came up with some ideas, and the director said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Well, I'm here." And so, background note, for the last 25 years or so, my personal faith has been one of Messianic Christianity. So really embracing the Jewish culture and the Hebrew language and Judeo traditions. And so having a deeper understanding of the Hebrew prayers and the language and the culture and the customs and the people. Our family's been to Israel, most of us at least once. And so we've been able to give some direction to the staff, for instance, how to pray. What would be a Jewish way to pray? What would be a Jewish way to light the candles or to set up the wedding scene? And different little small nuances, so that if somebody of Jewish heritage and culture were to come and watch the show, they would know that it was authentic and not just costumes on people.
Yeah, and speaking of costumes, you've also been able to help with that.
Yes.
Yeah, so to kind of what would be something that would traditionally be worn. And you're right, having that I can't even say the word.
Authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm tongue-tied this morning. I'm learning a lot of new words too, so thanks. But authenticity is so important. When you're doing theater, you are portraying a story and your actors, but it's, that's to convey that to the audience and to know that truly, to have that character development to where you're not just surface level playing that character, but you actually get to be that character and to have that understanding.
Right.
Has that been very helpful with the rest of the cast?
I think so, and they've been very receptive to it.
Oh, good.
One example might be there's prayer scenes, and people were naturally going like this for the prayer, and the director said, "David, would you come and talk to them about Jewish prayer?" And I said, "Okay." Just a side note: this is typically a Protestant or a Catholic type of prayer. Jewish people would pray like this, with their hands open, and would be looking to the sky rather than bowing, and so that's just a different stance that that the cast would have to take during prayer scenes. So that's just one example of how to make it more authentic.
Yeah. Is there another example you could share with us?
Sure, you had mentioned the clothing. Just last night, David Jones playing the rabbi, wonderful guy. Wish he was here today.
I know, me too. Hey, David.
They made some prayer shawls for him to drape over his shoulder, and he came up to me. I didn't have to ask. He came up to me. He goes, "David, what's the right way to wear this?" And so I showed him how to turn the fringes and which way to place it and how to fold it over his shoulders, and it showed him, kind of how it'll lay over his arms when he lifts them and stuff. And so, little things like that mean a lot.
Yeah.
Especially to people who know if it's authentic or not.
Well, that's so important.
Yes.
I'm sure your directors are very happy. I know they've studied a lot, but when you actually have that immersion and that into the Jewish culture, then you're able to really, shed that light. So another really fun thing is that your daughter is in the show with you, and your son is as well?
Yes, my only daughter.
Okay.
And my youngest son. So Brielle and Ezra are in the show with me, and we decided we would audition together and ride or die together, and so it's been quite a great ride, and we've enjoyed it.
How is that?
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
The last time we were all in a show together was in 2017. We did Annie through Cast Kids, and so my children have been in other shows since, and I have not. And I auditioned for a role that was much more challenging and difficult than the one I got, and I'm, in retrospect, glad I didn't get it, because the role I'm in has been challenging enough, but it's been wonderful to see my children flourish in theirs as well.
Oh, I'm sure you're so proud.
I am.
Yeah, to see them. And your daughter is a beautiful singer, and hopefully she's here today, so maybe we can talk her into singing us a little bit of a song. We'll see. I don't know. The look on her face might, I don't know. We'll see. Well, so your experience, we've talked about that. And then your personal connection. I mean, that's so important to have. Is that one of the reasons that led you to audition for this show?
It is.
Okay.
I have had a little bit of a theater bug since I first did a show in 2017, but I haven't done anything since. And COVID hit, and we kind of all backed out for a while, and life took its course. But when I saw that Fiddler was going to be played, I was loving that musical as a family. We watched it 30 times in our home. I said, let's do it.
Yeah.
And Brielle, in particular, was pretty excited about a potential role that she could get as one of the daughters, and Ezra was down for it, so we did it, and we were very blessed to have gotten the callbacks and gotten the roles.
Yeah, it's a bonding experience.
That it is, yes.
And theater, you make a new family as well. Have you met some great friends?
Absolutely. Beautiful, wonderful people. And one of the things that I think is really neat about this production, we realized that there are multi-family groups in the cast. So I think there are 6 or 7 families that have multiple, spouses or children who are on the stage or behind the scenes together, which makes it like family on top of family.
It does. Yeah. Oh, that's so neat. Gosh, and to watch that, because this is about a family, the show is, and so to feel that true family bond, that's really cool.
It is.
Yeah, well, you were smart taking a little break in COVID. That's when I actually started my theater career, was right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. Once you get that theater bug, it's really hard to stay away. So I'm really happy that you brought your family to Theater of Gadsden, and I know everyone else is too.
Yes.
And I'm very much looking forward to it. So this weekend,
And
opening and next. So it's going to run 2 weekends. I think we have a flyer there. Let's check that out so we can have a visual of the dates that are going to be. So opening night on Friday. That's always excited. Here you go. Fiddler on the Roof. July 19th through the 28th. Of course, is there in Alabama City at the Theater of Gadsden. There is a QR code there on the screen, and so you can scan that and you can get your tickets. You can also go to theaterofgadsden.org and you can find the tickets there. Of course, you can find it on Facebook. So there are many ways. When I purchased my tickets for the opening night, which I purchased them weeks ago, I guess that's why I couldn't remember the dates, but I'm glad, there were very limited tickets available.
Well,
that's really good.
Yes.
So let's make this a sellout. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, hear a word from our sponsors, check in with your news and weather, and when we get back, Brielle, David's daughter, will be joining us, so stay tuned. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on WEAC TV 24.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upward Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
More than 2.5 million youths admitted to vaping, according to data from the CDC. Teens are at a greater risk for nicotine addiction because their brains are still developing. Please talk to your children about vaping.
Although we may see things differently,
the message can still reach me.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV24 News Update. 3 people, including a young child, were found dead after a shooting on Saturday. Officials were notified just before 6 o'clock p.m. Per ABC 3340, Officer Truman Fitzgerald said police received a call from a third party about a crash on Indian Summer Drive. When officers responded to the scene, they found a man, a woman, and a child inside a blue sedan riddled with bullets. All 3 had been shot, and all 3 were pronounced dead on the scene by Birmingham Fire and Rescue. The victims have been identified as 5-year-old Landon Brooks of Center Point, his mother, 28-year-old Arkia Berry of Center Point, and 28-year-old Eric Ashley Jr. of Hoover. The suspect is still on the loose. Officer Truman Fitzgerald said, "We believe some sort of interaction took place between the occupants of the victim's vehicle and the suspect's vehicle. Witnesses believe the shooter or shooters fled in a different vehicle. The majority of the shell casings were in the parking area of the park." Fitzgerald stated, "In this case, we have a small school-aged child that got caught up in the violence that's taking place in our city. We have to ask the question, when is enough going to be enough? We have to get to the bottom of this immediately. Anytime we have a homicide, it affects us, but when you have a child, it affects you differently. There's only one way in and one way out. Somebody saw something and somebody heard something." Police say they need the public's assistance with this case. Anyone with information is asked to call homicide detectives at 205-254-1764 or Crime Stoppers at 205-254-7777. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Beal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV24 News. For WEAC TV24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine, everyone. It's 7:47 on your Tuesday morning, July the 16th, and we are talking all things Fiddler on the Roof. It is opening this Friday night, running 2 weekends only at the Theater of Gadsden in Alabama City, the Ritz Theater. It's a wonderful place to go and enjoy a theater experience. So Fiddler on the Roof. So we have, David is still with us, David Yingling, who is playing the role of Constable, and now we have Brielle Yingling, who is playing Hava. Did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good. So tell us about the role of Hava. Tell us about her.
So she's one of Tevia's 5 daughters. She's third in line for marriage. Her and her sisters are very nervous to be married off by the matchmaker, so she chooses who they marry. So they're all nervous at the very beginning. But later we meet men outside the village, then we break tradition. So yeah, and my character, she ends up falling in love with a Russian soldier. So that is really, you know, contradicts the Jewish people or in that time. So the family is upset with me, and I end up marrying him without their consent, and we run away, and then I I'm dead to the family.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking, but if you come to the show, it's actually really funny sometimes.
So it has some humor to it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's always nice when you have that heartbreak, but you can have a little bit of humor with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can laugh at it, you can live with it, kind of thing,
Yes.
maybe. How hard is that to navigate a role where a daughter, you're very close with your father in your life, and so a role where a daughter and a father have some difficulties and a
Yeah.
falling out, if you will.
It's kind of been hard to like connect with, so I'm having to think in my mind, how would I feel if that was me? Even though I know my dad wouldn't probably do that.
Probably.
Don't try to.
I'm sorry, I'm not. But yeah, it's kind of been tough trying to like be that character, because
Yeah.
I don't really,
Yeah.
that wouldn't happen.
So character development is really important.
Yes.
How do you put yourself in that kind of place?
Like I said, how would I feel if my father said, no, you cannot marry him, and I went off and married him anyway, and then they're like, you are dead to us, and that would be really heartbreaking. So backstage, I'm like trying to say the lines to myself, work on face movement and expression, so yeah.
Yeah. So kind of get prepared by just kind of getting in that place and becoming Hava and kind of leaving Brielle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I have heard you sing before on a video, and so I'm very much looking forward to hearing you sing live. How long have you been singing?
Probably since when I was really little.
Yes.
I've always loved singing. And my mom, she has a lot of vocal techniques that she uses. She sings opera, so she raised me in that kind of, so I can sing some opera, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to sing for us this morning.
I don't know, I'm just like not warmed up. I don't want to.
No, it's okay. So if you want to see Brielle sing, which you do, you've got to go see Fiddler on the Roof. You have, 6 performances?
Yes.
There's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday matinee,
Yes.
both weekends. What's your favorite song in the musical?
I'd probably say Matchmaker. It's just very upbeat and fun.
Yeah.
Just the harmonies are really pretty.
Nice.
So
How many people sing on that?
it's 3 people, Zidel, Huddle, and Hava, and then later on little sisters join, Bianca and Sprinza. So about 3 to 5, just a little bit. So.
Yeah. Has it been hard to learn how to say the names, or with your background, are you pretty aware of like those names? And well, the tradition definitely is something. Have you been able to help, much like your dad, with your fellow castmates with the tradition of the Jewish faith?
I haven't as much. He really takes a good role in that. But yeah, I haven't had much trouble pronouncing the names. Maybe once or twice I'll mess up my words a little bit, but it hasn't been too difficult. So I'm really happy about that. I don't have to worry.
Have you learned some things from your dad about the Jewish faith? During this show, I know you have in your life, but during this show in particular?
I think maybe. There's a lot that I've grown up learning. Sometimes I forget it, but yeah, just little reminders here and there. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But
How's it been having you've done other shows with your dad before. Have you done any without?
yeah, I've done quite a few. Probably 4 or 5. We were in 1 or 2 together. So yeah, Annie in 2017 with cast, so that was really fun.
Yeah.
That was.
Do you like having him part of the cast?
Yeah, I
with
do.
you now?
We're really close, so yeah, we really enjoy it together.
There's a lot of comfort in that, having family. So tell us about some new family that you've met. Have you met some new friends?
Yes, I have. Some families I have already known for a long time since I started theater. Probably the Sheelys, I don't know if you know them, but they're a really nice family. Some other people I haven't met, they're very nice. But yeah, a lot of new relationships, so that's been really nice.
Yeah. What about working with your directors?
Yes, I love them. They're awesome people, very sweet and kind. They give you the sorry.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, can you help me here?
Very direct.
Yeah. Yeah. Got lots of notes. I know Nika likes notes.
Yeah.
Hey, Nika. Yeah, they're great. Well, that's wonderful. Anything else that you've kind of learned or some inspiration that you've gained from any of your cast members?
Yes, there's some cast members that I know that have been doing theater for many, many years, and they have a lot of experience, and so that is like guided me, keeps me pushing to my limit, to where I can be the best I can, and to keep auditioning for shows. So they have been a really good light to me.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your future plans. Brielle, not Hava, but Brielle. Do you want to continue the theater journey?
Probably a little bit. I usually audition for shows that I'm really excited about. I don't really do like the minor shows. I probably should begin to get into that, just to have more experience. But in my future, I don't know, I used to always want to be like a singer. I think that's like every little girl's dream, or something like that. But I don't know, I think I might want to go into psychology like my dad has. It seems really cool, all that he does in counseling. So,
Is that new news to you? You looked a little surprised.
Yes, it is. That would be the second of my children that said that recently.
Wow, well that's good parenting then, if they want to follow in your footsteps.
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
There is a lot of that you use also with theater. You kind of have that psychology behind the character development and being able to separate your personal from your character. And sometimes there can be a little confusion there. So how do you do that? How do you suggest that actors work through that?
I think there has to be like this bubble around you when you're in the theater, and you kind of lose yourself and your personal life when you're in there, and you have to immerse yourself in the mental, physical, emotional state of your character, if you will, and really just step into that role. It can be hard, but I think it's a learned discipline. You have to practice doing it.
Yeah. What about stepping out of it? Because once you become in that role, like once you leave the theater, leaving
Back to
that,
real life.
but then you have to carry your character with you because you have to work on it outside of theater. How do you balance that?
For me, it's probably humor.
Okay.
We're a humor-based family. We tease each other a lot. We joke a lot. It's kind of our family's culture, and I know different people do that in different ways, but we use humor.
Yeah, I like humor. Again, I'm a laugh at it, live with it kind of gal.
Yes.
So, is your Russian accent as strong as your dad's?
No, not really.
Can we hear a little bit?
I don't know.
It's okay.
I might make myself really embarrassed if I do it. It's not good.
That's okay. Again, on the stage, though, I'm sure, Brielle, you'll come alive and you'll be able to put on a wonderful performance, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Was there anything else that we want to touch on this morning while I have you with me? Yeah?
I don't know.
I love that you are doing this together. Oh, and your brother, too. How's that?
It's really fun. He has done just a few shows with me, but I'm really glad that he wanted to do this with us, and I think he's having fun with it. So, yeah.
There's a lot of dancing, too, so you get to do some choreography. How's that been?
It's been pretty good. Work in progress. There's been really a lot of ups and downs, but we finally got to a place where everybody's settled, I think. It's been going pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you catch yourself just like walking through a store and doing your dance moves? Doing a little choreography?
No, that might happen.
I would always be like, walking through and like all of a sudden I'd do like a box step.
Yeah.
Just kind of carry that inside and out, the theater and
She's
then
been
out.
singing and dancing since she was little, 2 or 3, so.
I know you love having your house filled with that too, and it gives her more to sing, and so it's wonderful. Well, break a leg. I am excited to be there on opening night, and I hope you all will too. Go see Fiddler on the Roof. 6 performances starting this Friday night. So stay tuned. We're going to learn more about Fiddler on the Roof, and make sure that you go and get your tickets today before it sells out. So thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be right back.
and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop, serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
I'm Alan Parnell with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. 3 people, including a young child, were found dead after a shooting on Saturday. Officials were notified just before 6 o'clock p.m. Per ABC 3340, Officer Truman Fitzgerald said police received a call from a third party about a crash on Indian Summer Drive. When officers responded to the scene, they found a man, a woman, and a child inside a blue sedan riddled with bullets. All 3 had been shot, and all 3 were pronounced dead on the scene by Birmingham Fire and Rescue. The victims have been identified as 5-year-old Landon Brooks of Center Point, his mother, 28-year-old Arkia Berry of Center Point, and 28-year-old Eric Ashley Jr. of Hoover. The suspect is still on the loose. Officer Truman Fitzgerald said, "We believe some sort of interaction took place between the occupants of the victim's vehicle and the suspect's vehicle. Witnesses believe the shooter or shooters fled in a different vehicle. The majority of the shell casings were in the parking area of the park." Fitzgerald stated, "In this case, we have a small, school-aged child that got caught up in the violence that's taking place in our city. We have to ask the question, when is enough going to be enough? We have to get to the bottom of this immediately. Anytime we have a homicide, it affects us, but when you have a child, it affects you differently. There's only one way in and one way out. Somebody saw something and somebody heard something." Police say they need the public's assistance with this case. Anyone with information is asked to call homicide detectives at 205-254-1764 or Crime Stoppers at 205-254-7777. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Beal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine and welcome back. It's 8 o'clock on your Tuesday morning, July the 16th, and we are talking about Fiddler on the Roof. It is opening this Friday at the Theatre of Gadsden, so go get your tickets right now before they all sell out, because this show has a lot of buzz behind it, and it should. It is a very popular musical, and the Theatre of Gadsden is a top-notch theater company, and so I am super excited. I have my tickets for opening night. So joining us now is the vocal director, Denise LaFollette.
Hello,
Hi.
good morning.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad to see you. I have to give a little backstory. When I got to play the role of Patsy Cline, Denise was my vocal director and helped me find all those Patsyisms. So I have firsthand knowledge of how amazing it is to work with Denise. And so I know that this cast is very blessed to have you on their side, because there's a lot of those, a lot of new words that they're learning, a lot of ways to say it, and most of your cast are probably from the South, and
we are.
It's a little harder for not everyone. It has their Russian accent on point like David here, I could imagine. And so how is that to work with everyone to help them develop a Russian accent?
Fortunately for me, I don't have to worry about their accent quite as much. I do have to get the Southernisms out of their singing, but we do sing quite proper. But yeah, it's been interesting trying to get some of the Southernisms out with the singing, for the directors to get them out when they're actually doing their lines on stage. Because sometimes it'll come out like this.
You don't say.
What? But yeah, no. And I totally get it because, well, I'm one of those Southern girls.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it is what it is, right? We're Southern, but actors, you know, we get to explore different ranges in our voice, and that also comes with different, like, those little isms. Are there any like things that you work with them on to get that, like any ways that you have to help with that?
Primarily, it's going over those pronunciations again, or certain things like last night. One of the things was village, and it sounded more like village, so we need to get a village or Anatevka. Versus what we want to do is go Anatevka.
Yeah, guilty.
Yep, guilty. So, you know, making sure that they have that Vilka, Sprinza, getting those pronunciations down.
To work on those, you're constantly going over those sounds, and
they recorded a video of one of our actors actually saying them properly, so they could listen to them and repeat them back. So we actually even did that so that people could practice that at home.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So the music. Now, Fiddler on the Roof is very well known for many memorable songs, like Rich Man. Is that what it's called? If I Were
a Rich Man.
If I Were a Rich Man, and Tradition. Matchmaker, which is one that Brielle is singing on. I'm super excited
One
about
of the others
all of those.
is Sunrise Sunset is one that a lot of people tend to know.
Do you have a personal favorite? That's a hard one, huh?
The ending song probably is one of my favorite, and it's just called Anatevka. But yeah, I get chill bumps.
Oh, I
just thinking
see
about
that.
it.
Look at that. Oh, this is so exciting.
They've made my job easy. I mean, they're doing a beautiful job of it, and working on getting the emotion out of them in the songs is probably one of my bigger things. Normally my husband and I are a tag team musical director duo. He's the musical genius. I'm the one that makes them pretty. But that's my big thing right now is making sure I try to get that emotion out of them. It's unlike most musicals or stage. It does not have a perky ending, but it is a beautiful ending. It's absolutely beautiful the way they handle it. Yeah.
So you mentioned your husband, Greg, and tell our viewers why he is not a musical coach along with you this show.
Well, this is his favorite show. It has been a lifelong dream for him to play Tevye. He's actually been behind the scenes with it before. He's helped music direct it before. Since I don't want to give away his age, a few years back. And so given the choice, he auditioned. When offered the part, he had to resign as music director. So then we're technically both music directors. I kind of got promoted.
Yeah.
But it was well worth it. Seeing him achieve a lifelong dream has been fantastic.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Is he still kind of trying to do some musical directing, or has he been able to just stay in his character? No. Hey, Greg.
Love you, honey. No, he's like I said, he's the musical genius. So if he hears something, especially on stage, that I don't hear in the background, then he will definitely let me know. Same thing with Judy Sheely. She's an amazing singer, as well as a vocal teacher. So having those experts in the ensemble is fantastic, because then they can give me feedback where I'm hearing a huge mass of sound. They can hear individual things that happen. Even the actors. I know at one point David's like, I'm hearing people say papas when it should be papa. So we rely on everybody to listen and hear. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah, those are those things that the audience might catch, but when you're on the stage, you might not. And it's nice to have those listening ears that can catch those little things. Well, I know it's probably been different from you because for you not working with Greg, but being able to work with Greg. But I know you're doing a great job.
It's been interesting going, okay, so I need you to, usually I'm not having to give my husband directions.
Right. Has he been very receptive?
Oh, he's been fantastic.
Oh, they're great. He is an incredible musical director, and of course, with our time that we've gotten to work together. And so, again, I know that this cast is very, very blessed. David, is there anything in particular that you've learned?
I really appreciate you as music director. Not only just getting the right notes, but you have been excellent at leading the cast with dynamics and volume and things that really bring the emotion to life. Because this really is a musical that it does have its funny moments, and it is culturally relevant, but it's also a tragedy. And so there's a full range of emotion that has to be captured musically, and you do a wonderful job at getting us as a cast to express that in an appropriate way.
Thank you.
And Greg has been a pleasure to act opposite of. I really do feel like Tevye is across from me, and through the practices that we've had, I think he and I have a pretty good dynamic together, and it's been a lot of fun working with him as well.
The two of you have a very close relationship in the show, right? Like you were talking about earlier with the struggles on how to navigate that relationship of having, like, your job, your duties, but then also a personal friendship. And so...
And you can see that, like when David's with Tevye, or when the constable's with Tevye, you can see that I want to be your friend, I am your friend, I almost that I love you, but I have to do my job. And you can see that it breaks his heart that he has to do it.
That struggle.
Absolutely.
And the music, I mean, it is a musical. Of course, there's dialogue, but the music, like David was saying, it really portrays that emotion. And so, like you even mentioned a moment ago about the volume, that is a big deal. If the volume's too high or too low, or you're not right on there, it can lose some of that effect that you pass along to the audience. So those things are very important. It's not even necessarily just the right keys that you're hitting or the right notes that you're hitting, but also about how you are giving that to presenting that to the audience.
Yeah, it's kind of like last night. One of the things I try to remind people of is there is no such thing as perfection. There is performance and there is world-class recovery, but there's no such thing as perfection. So you will not see a perfect musical, you will not see a perfect show, but you will see a beautiful performance. That's without a doubt.
I'm so glad I have my tickets. Do you have your tickets yet? Make sure you go on that theaterofgadsden.org and get your tickets today. You don't want to miss it. Do you have a favorite scene?
Oh, it would have to be, there's probably two. One is Far From the Home I Love, which that would be with the middle daughter Huddle and then Tevye. And then it would be the scene with Hava and Fiedka when Tevye and Hava kind of butt heads, and she says, "I'm going," and he says, "You're dead to me."
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's got to be hard to see.
I'm like, there
I
goes
know,
again.
I'm seeing all the chills. David, do you have a favorite scene?
Oh my goodness, it's hard to choose.
Yeah.
It's also hard being in the cast. I can't see the whole production.
I know. Do you ever kind of want to sneak out and go to the house?
Bits and pieces of it. I am backstage during the wedding scene, so I get to see that scene from what would be the front, from the rabbi's perspective, which is really an interesting perspective. But I think that's a beautifully done scene as well.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun. I mean, there's singing, there's dancing, there's laughing, there's crying.
Yes.
It's a full range of emotions in the show.
So get ready for a roller coaster, huh?
Absolutely.
Bring my tissues.
Bring the tissues.
Okay, for laughter and, and tears.
Because there are times when you will be laughing, like crying, laughing.
Oh, I'm so excited. That is one of the things about being in the cast, is that you want to see the show also. So, but. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And again, make sure that you go and get your tickets today, theaterofgadsden.org. Okay, stay tuned. We've got some more Fiddler on the Roof for you. So we'll be right back. You're watching Rise and Shine right here on TV 24.
Family Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel, but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gadsden or Oxford.
I'm Lacey Klontz with your TV 24 News Update. 3 people, including a young child, were found dead after a shooting on Saturday. Officials were notified just before 6 o'clock p.m. Per ABC 3340, Officer Truman Fitzgerald said police received a call from a third party about a crash on Indian Summer Drive. When officers responded to the scene, they found a man, a woman, and a child inside a blue sedan riddled with bullets. All 3 had been shot, and all 3 were pronounced dead on the scene by Birmingham Fire and Rescue. The victims have been identified as 5-year-old Landon Brooks of Center Point, his mother, 28-year-old Arkia Berry of Center Point, and 28-year-old Eric Ashley Jr. of Hoover. The suspect is still on the loose. Officer Truman Fitzgerald said, "We believe some sort of interaction took place between the occupants of the victim's vehicle and the suspect's vehicle. Witnesses believe the shooter or shooters fled in a different vehicle. The majority of the shell casings were in the parking area of the park." Fitzgerald stated, "In this case, we have a small, school-aged child that got caught up in the violence that's taking place in our city. We have to ask the question, when is enough going to be enough? We have to get to the bottom of this immediately. Anytime we have a homicide, it affects us, but when you have a child, it affects you differently. There's only one way in and one way out. Somebody saw something and somebody heard something." Police say they need the public's assistance with this case. Anyone with information is asked to call homicide detectives at 205-254-1764 or Crime Stoppers at 205-254-7777. For more news stories like these, plus weather with Justin Beal and sports, tune in tonight to the TV 24 News. For WEAC TV 24, I'm Lacey Klontz.
Rise and shine, and welcome back. It's 8:17 on your Tuesday morning, July the 16th, and we have been learning about Fiddler on the Roof and visiting with some of the cast members and the vocal director. And so now we have Heath Haynes joining us. So you are playing a villager.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's been going wonderful.
Yeah. So, first time with Theater of Gadsden?
First time on a stage ever.
Ever? Well, what inspired you to audition for Fiddler on the Roof?
Well, I was working as a crew member on Cast's Beauty and the Beast, and I was working with another actress that's in this show, Esther Scholl. She plays Hoddle. Yeah. We were talking behind the scenes, and she said, "You know, you would be a good role in Fiddler on the Roof." And I thought about it and thought, you know, it'd be nice to be on stage, actually. So I took her advice, and the rest is history.
There you go. Well, how has that experience been so far?
Oh, it's like a dream come true.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Esther is very talented.
She is.
There's everyone in that cast is so talented. So, I mean, I'm sure it's been a lot of fun. How does that, so you've done the backstage work, which is so incredibly important too. I mean, it takes every moving part. So going from doing the backstage to the front of stage, you've enjoyed it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? What's been your favorite part? The play or the experience?
My favorite part would probably have to be meeting the people. Yeah. I have made some new wonderful friends.
Yeah. Lifelong friends too. Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. So do you, well, I know we've got to get through this show. I know it's hard to start thinking about the next journey when you're still in this. How has Tech Week been?
Oh, it's been exhausting.
Yeah. So as a villager, do you do a lot of dancing and get to do a lot of the choreography?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's a supporting role, and very important that we have those supporting roles. What character do you work the closest with? Are you in the most scenes with?
I'm in most scenes. I'm following the rabbi, our dear David Jones, and I think the reason is my character Usul is he wants to have the best out of life, so he follows the rabbi for guidance. I wants to learn at the feet of the master.
Yeah, well, the rabbi is a good place to start with guidance. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you learned anything from David here?
Oh, so much. I've learned a lot about the traditions of Judaism and things I never thought I'd learn.
Yeah. That's one of the fun things about theater is that you do get to go have experiences that you wouldn't have in your everyday life. You get to, open your world, per se, right?
Yes.
Well, so anything else exciting that you want to tell us about the show or being part of the experience?
The theater we're in is very beautiful and historic, and we hope people can come by and enjoy the heritage.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite song in the show?
Oh yes, there's a song called "Do You Love Me," and it's the scene where all the kids are about to be married, and it gets Tevye and thinking, does my wife feel the same way about me still? And why I love that song is because it really goes into real life. When you have parents like I do, when you've been married for so long, doing things like, cooking meals, packing lunches, cutting the grass, that all becomes like mundane, like every day. You forget why you decide to do it in the first place. Oh. It even says in the song, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
Oh, that's so lovely. What do each of you hope the audience takes away after seeing this show? David, we'll start with you.
Sure, that's a great question. First, I just want to say, Heath, that was a beautiful analysis of that scene. I really appreciate that. And I've really enjoyed seeing you grow as somebody who's not been on stage before and being pressed and learning and growing in so many ways. It's been beautiful to see.
Thank you.
What I hope the audience takes away from this show is that, yes, this setting is 1800s Russian, but there are lessons and issues that are relevant today. We live in a world where people are being forced out of their homelands. We live in a world where people are being ridiculed and teased or hurt or murdered for their beliefs. And now is not a time to be silent. Now is not a time to just go along with what people say we should do, or just because a political entity or a military entity says this is what needs to be done, or what popular culture says needs to be done. We need to do what's right. We need to do what is right in the eyes of God. We need to do what's right in the eyes of those we love. And so I think this is a very salient theatrical production because of the times that we're in right now. Yeah. Not much has changed, unfortunately.
I know. Wow. That's heavy.
It is.
It is. Heath, what do you think?
What? It reminds me of when a few years ago I visited the Titanic Museum in Pigeon Forge, and they've redone it. And they had a section about the Ukrainian people. You know, the show is set in Ukraine, and it showed all the people that were on the ship and all that, and below the picture it said, the pictures, it said intolerance is a virus too. And it really struck a chord with me, and I feel like that's really captured in this show. We have people getting pushed out of their homes. We had, just because the times are changing, and think that's still relevant 100 years later.
Yeah. Wow. Helps put things in a perspective that is kind of a tough perspective to put it in. Well, I'm really hoping that everyone will go out and see Fiddler on the Roof and have those takeaways, and to open your mind when you're there, to open up and fully immerse yourself in the story and in the musical. And there's some really great lessons to learn, as well as being entertained.
Yes.
So when you can be entertained and grow, that's a wonderful experience and night of theater. So is there anything else that we want to make sure our viewers know before we have to say goodbye this morning?
Be sure you learn to love each other through this show.
Yeah.
Love your neighbor.
Yes, thank you, Heath.
I don't think I can top that. Love your neighbor. That's good.
Love your neighbor. Well, I think on that we'll leave that, and we'll remind everybody. Let's show them the flyer one more time, because we want to remind them of where to go get tickets. And again, it is opening this Friday night at the Theater of Gadsden. It runs 2 weekends, so you have this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday matinee, and then the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday matinee. Go support the arts, local theater, and learn something. You will enjoy it, and you will have some takeaways that will be very beneficial for your life, and be entertained. So it'll be a great evening or afternoon of theater there at the Theater of Gadsden. Again, theaterofgadsden.org. You can find it there. Follow them on Facebook. I might even be able to do some giveaway tickets, so we'll look into that and do some giveaway tickets on our Facebook page. So be sure to follow our Facebook page, WEAC TV 24, for your chance to win tickets to Fiddler on the Roof. So I'm so excited. Again, I have my tickets opening night, so I'm really looking forward to going on the journey. And yeah, learning more about Fiddler and being entertained by the incredible musical talent and performance quality that I know will be found there at Fiddler on the Roof. So thank you both so much for joining us, and to Denise and Brielle, thank you also for joining us. And break a leg. I hope it's a wonderful show. I know it's going to be. And to all of the Theater of Gadsden family who is in Fiddler on the Roof, again, break a leg, best wishes for a wonderful show. I cannot wait to be right there in the audience on Friday night for opening night, because there is a lot of fun about opening night too.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, a lot of energy. And then you got to carry on that energy to the next performances. Yep. And so again, it's Tech Week, so good luck to y'all with Tech Week and getting through all of that. And when it comes to the show, break a leg. All right, well, make sure to join us tomorrow morning. It's Wednesday tomorrow, and so that means Oven Odyssey. We have Chef Dave and Susan Shipman in cooking us up. We're not real sure, but we'll find out. And then Thursday, of course, we have our friends with Gadsden State, and Friday, Ellen Hurst with Alabama Cares. So we will see you back here tomorrow on Rise and Shine. Make sure to like and follow that Facebook page for your chance to win tickets to Fiddler on the Roof there at Theater of Gadsden. With that, we wish you all a wonderful rest of your day. Again, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.